Hey there, my friend, and welcome back to another episode of Learning to Cook on a Budget with Erin Chase. In this week's episode, we are going to be talking about pasta in the slow cooker and the Instant Pot. I'm going to demonstrate for you how to do pasta in the Instant Pot, and I'm going to explain and talk you through how you can cook it in the slow cooker. My preferred method is the Instant Pot, which is why I'm going to show you that here in this episode, but you can also do the cooking in the slow cooker. There's just a few slightly different rules for that. When you're cooking pasta in the slow cooker, let's use like chili mac, let's say. So you're gonna slow cook the chili all day long. And then when there is about an hour, 45 minutes left in the cooking cycle, it kind of depends on the thickness of the noodle that you're gonna add in. A thicker penne noodle is gonna be closer to an hour, an elbow noodle, maybe 45 minutes, a spiral type noodle, a rotini or a fusilli, that's gonna be maybe 45 minutes to an hour. But you're going to go ahead and add that in with that much time left in the cooking cycle. And I would highly recommend that you set an alarm of some kind, whether it's on your phone, a timer, a countdown, something, so that you don't forget that you need to add it in. Because if you go to like, oh, dinner's ready, and you forget to add the pasta, then you have to wait 45 minutes or an hour for the pasta to cook in the slow cooker. Of course, you could cook it on the side, but there is just that convenience factor of dropping it into the slow cooker, letting the warmth from the slow cooker slow cook that pasta, but it's just going to take a little bit more time than, you know, the 10 minutes or so that it would take on the stovetop. In the Instant Pot today, we are going to do what is essentially a hamburger helper, if you will. You can see I have my pound of ground crumbles here. I love these guys. You buy, store, and cook them from frozen. They have that gorgeous shake, and then of course they're gonna do a nice sizzle. I have a little plug right here. I'm gonna plug in my slow cooker so I don't have to move it. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna get this on saute mode. And I'm gonna put it on the higher heat which is saute and adjust. And we're going to let this warm up, and I'm gonna open this, and we're going to brown the beef right in here. And then we will add all of the other ingredients kind of layered in, if you will. All right, this is nice and warm. You can always drop a little bit of water on there to see if it sizzles, and if it does, that means it's ready. Let me just make a mess here. Let me drop all these back in. These will be real easy to clean up. Hooray. And then I'm going to just stir these around a little bit with my meat server. And I am gonna add a little bit of onion, a tablespoon or so, and about a teaspoon of garlic powder. I think I'm just gonna use the rest of what's in here because there's not much left. So there we have it. And then we're gonna stir that together. I like the onion and the garlic to have that opportunity to brown with the beef. I think it just adds a tiny bit of depth of flavor with the ground beef. If you've ever seen any of my other videos about ground beef, you've probably already figured out that I pretty much always add onion and garlic. So I am going to let this finish browning, and then in a minute I'll be back and we will add the other ingredients to get this Instant Pot pasta cooking. Okay, my friend, we have our browned ground beef here from the saute mode. I'm not gonna drain it because there's not that much fat in here, and I don't want to lose that flavor. So I'm gonna just turn it off, and we're gonna fill it up with the other ingredients and then put the lid on and then do the pressure cook cycle. So this is basically saute the meat, whether you're using crumbles or ground beef or ground sausage or ground turkey or ground chicken, it doesn't matter. You can saute it all in this same pot, and that just makes it a whole lot easier. So step 2, I'm getting a steam bath, sorry. I hope you can see me through here. I know you can. The next step is gonna be to add chicken stock. I'm gonna start with 3 cups, and I'm gonna give you my rule for kind of how this works. This should settle that steam down. Okay, and then I'm also going to add in a little bit of browned mustard, about a tablespoon or 2. I just like the tanginess that this adds to a pasta like this, a mac and cheese essentially with this beef. You can also do paprika. I just prefer the mustard taste, if you will. And I'm just gonna use this same guy and just mix all this in together. And then I'm gonna add in the pasta. And here's the one thing with the pasta. If you've watched our skillet meal with pasta, you know the pasta has to be underwater. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this whole bag, 16-ounce bag, and it looks like I will need a little bit more of this liquid. I usually use between 3 and 4 cups, and I am gonna mix it in because the beef and the pasta will kind of mix together and help get some of the pasta a little bit further down, but it does look like I need to add a little bit more liquid here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add the rest. So that was 4 cups. The liquid is going to be soaked up by the pasta. It's also going to be formed into this gorgeous sauce. And you'll see when it's done cooking and we open it, it's gonna have a little liquid there, but that's okay. That's gonna get kind of, 1, it's gonna steam off, and 2, it's gonna be absorbed into the cheesy sauce that we will get to later. So step 1, brown the ground beef. Step 2 is gonna get the pasta in here and get it all nice and underwater. The reason to do that is if any is sticking up, even just part of it, that part will be chewy. And I don't know about you, but I am just not into chewy pasta. So we're just gonna make sure that we get all of that underwater. And then we are gonna switch to the cooking cycle. So about that. Lid on, set to sealing, and we're gonna do 7 minutes. Manual, there we go. I'm like, why isn't, there it is. It was already set to 7 minutes. Okay, sorry. Manual 7 minutes is the time that I need. The cooking time with the pasta in the electric pressure cooker is real quick, 6-7 minutes, maybe 8 minutes if you're using a thicker pasta. This is a thicker penne that I'm using. I'm gonna go with 7 minutes. We're gonna let it naturally release for about 5 minutes, then let the rest of the pressure off. For now, I want you to know that cooking pasta 6, 7, maybe 8 minutes, depending on the type of noodle that you use. When I do spaghetti in the Instant Pot, it's a very similar process. Brown the ground beef, add the marinara sauce, add the stock, I usually break up the spaghetti so it fits easier and gets underwater easier. That's also a 6 or 7 minute cooking cycle. So just know that there's a slight time variation, but it also depends on your electric pressure cooker. I figured out the times for mine, but you can always err on the side of kind of hitting that right in the middle. But with pasta, 6, 7, 8 minutes is going to cook pretty much any noodle all the way through. We'll be back shortly when this pressure cooking cycle is finished, and then we will add in the butter, the cream, and the shredded cheddar cheese and get to that gorgeous cheesy goodness of this Instant Pot pasta. Our cheeseburger pasta is cooked, but it's not cheesy yet. It's time to cheesify it. So we're gonna do that now. I have let the pressure naturally release for a few minutes and then regular release. I'm gonna give you a shot of this here as soon as I'm done with my time at the spa. Don't mind my steam bath. I'm gonna show you how beautifully this is cooked, and I'm gonna show you that there is a little bit of liquid in there, but not to worry, it will, 1, steam off as we see happening here, and 2, it will also take on the cream. You can see it kind of there in the bottom. It's, you know, a cup or 2 of cream, but look at how gorgeous and cooked this pasta is. Again, stirring it will help release a little bit of that liquid. And then once we take it out of the base and let it cool down a little bit, the sauce will thicken. So between adding in the dairy and then taking it out of the base, the sauce is definitely gonna thicken. So I'm actually gonna do that now. Take it out of the base. I need my pinch mitts. You guys have seen me use these before, my handy dandy pinch mitts, and of course I have my favorite spinella here. So I'm gonna actually shift this over and move the base back. I'm gonna leave the pinch mitts here just to, you know, remind me that this is a hot pot. Just give it a little stir, a little more of a steam bath here. I can already see the sauce thickening up, just like this. All right, I have my ladle here for serving later, and next what we're gonna do, while this is piping hot, I want the butter to have time to melt, the cheese to melt. It is time to cheesify. So I'm gonna add about 4 tablespoons of butter and just cut them into the pads so they'll melt faster. And then I'm gonna do 1/2 cup of heavy cream. You could use whole milk or even milk. I think the heavy cream just gives it that really creamy consistency in the sauce. And I'm gonna just use my spinella to scrape that out. Y'all know this is my favorite. If you don't have any spinellas in your life, you are missing out. You need them. We have the regular size. This one I'm using here. We also have a skinny version. as well. Look at how beautiful that is. And we haven't even added the cheese yet. All right, now for the cheese. I'm gonna go ahead and add in, this is just a triple cheddar cheese blend, probably 1.5 cups or so, maybe 2 cups if you want it really cheesy. Oh, well, just gonna do the whole. Why not? Go big or go home, right? So we want to stir this in fairly quickly after we've taken it out, because we do want the heat to melt this cheese. We don't want to have to put this into another container and then heat that up. So just look at how beautiful this is. Yummy. It looks a little saucy, but I promise it will thicken up as we serve it into bowls and as it cools down. Last but not least, a little bit of salt. Didn't have any. There is a little salt in the cheese, but probably not enough. So you're gonna wanna add a little touch of salt, a little pepper if you want as well. And there we have our Instant Pot cheesy cheeseburger and pasta. So delicious. Let's get this in a bowl and have a taste. Last but not least, it's time to serve this. It's already cooled down on the top. It'll of course be a little bit warmer underneath. You can see a little more steam coming off there. We're gonna just ladle this into bowls. I love the ladle and how it's got that flexy side to it. And then when I go to like spoon this out into all of our bowls here, I can get into that corner of this and not miss any bit of this delicious cheeseburger pasta that we have cooked in the Instant Pot. So this comes in real handy, also fabulous for soup. But these thicker kind of saucier meals, it does a really good job of getting into kind of the corner, if you will, if there can be a corner of a round bowl. We're gonna get into it with our ladle. And so if you don't have one of these, you wanna grab it. Of course, we also have the meat chopper, the spinella, the pinch mitts. All of these are in our store. You're gonna wanna go check that out, get all of that ordered. And that way you have all these handy gadgets, these practical tools that are gonna help you getting all of your meals prepared for your family. Okay, not gonna lie, friends, there's a reason I don't often taste on our cooking lesson videos, and that's because I think it's awkward. Like, you do it on TV, I've done it on short form video over on like Instagram and TikTok, but it's like, you have to wait for me to like eat this. And also it could be really hot. So, you know, I actually think this is pretty well cooled down. So should we be awkward together? Cheers to being awkward. What? It's delicious. It's just the right consistency. I can literally tell that this pasta was not like cooked in a pot and then added in. The beef broth infused into the pasta, plus the cheesiness and the crumbles cooked so easily. This is not awkward. Me eating this might be awkward, but this is delicious. Save the recipe. It's down below the video. Go grab these gadgets. They're also down there below. Enjoy this cheeseburger pasta cooked in the Instant Pot. If you learned something new, including that taking a taste of this is awkward, please like this video. We are sharing new episodes in the Learn to Cook on a Budget series every Wednesday at noon Central Time. So please subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and go ahead and hit that like button so we know you enjoyed it and you learned something new. All right, my friend, that's it for this week's episode. It's bye for now, and I'll see you in the next one.